Hello, my name is John Hummel, and I'm interviewing my father, who is also John Hummel, about his marriage. The first question is, how long have you been married?
We'll be married 25 years in September of this year, 2021.
How old were you when you met each other?
I was 30, 31 years old, and mom was, she would be 24 when we met each other.
Describe your courtship.
Well, we actually met on a blind date. Um, my sister-in-law was, our best friend was a nurse at the same hospital where mom, I can call her mom,
Okay.
worked. And they were very good friends from working together at the hospital. And they, between the two of them, my sister-in-law and her friend, they set us up on a blind date. It was at our beach club. Uh, Mom wasn't a member then; I was a member
ABC.
on ABC, yep, Atlantic Beach Club. It was on the 4th of July fireworks night, actually, and that's how we met.
Why did you decide to get married?
Because we enjoyed each other's company. Um, we had a lot of fun together. We just we were very compatible, and we decided that we wanted to raise a family and spend the rest of our lives together.
Describe your engagement.
We had planned a vacation to Aruba, and without mom knowing, I had bought an engagement ring, and I was planned on asking her to marry me while we were on vacation in Aruba. But prior to leaving, I asked her father, your grandfather, if it would be okay if I asked for her hand in marriage, and he was happy about it and excited about it, but they had to keep it a secret from her because we were going away and she didn't know anything about it. So I had bought her an engagement ring, and I had it in my suitcase actually when we went to Aruba. And I asked her if she would marry me while we were on vacation, and she said yes.
You worried that it would come up on the luggage thing?
Uh, I, yes and no. I thought it was safe in the luggage, but afterwards, your mother said, "How did you get this here?" And I said it was in the luggage, and she got mad at me and said, "How could you put that in the luggage?" But it got there. It was fine.
How old were you when you got married?
I was 32,
So she was 26.
and no, mom was 25, right? 20. Yeah.
Um, what were you looking for in a spouse?
Everything I found in your mother. No, we enjoyed going to the beach. We enjoyed going on the boat. We just enjoyed being in each other's company.
How does the reality of marriage compare to your expectations of what marriage would be? So, like, how if it's like shown in like a show on TV
Well,
compared to what it actually is?
yeah, it's. I'd say reality is quite different from what you'll see most of the time on television. You know, there's ups and downs, and but when two people are compatible and make it work.
How do children affect marriage?
They cost a lot. No, having kids are great. You guys, mom had always said she wanted 4 children. She always said that, and then we had triplets right off the bat. And then after if you guys were 5 years older, and Robert was born, so that rounded it out: 2 boys, 2 girls, and it made the 4 that mom wanted.
How important are money in marriage? How
Um,
important is money?
It's important, but it's not necessarily everything either. You know, you have to make do with what you have, but it's obviously, especially if you have a family, you want to provide for them and make sure everybody's comfortable. So it is important, but you have to work hard, but it's not necessarily everything either.
How did the physical aspect of marriage change from when you were married?
Physical
I
aspect.
don't really know what that means.
Well, as you get older, it's harder to stay in shape.
Look at how important are similar values and/or religion?
I think that's very important, because as long as you share the same values, and you know, therefore a lot of times the same religion, I think you're more compatible. You know, there are people that do say opposites attract, but I think that only lasts so long. As long as you share the same values and religion, then that makes for a long-lasting marriage.
How important was the cultural and educational background?
I don't know. I mean, we came from different areas. I was from Long Beach. Mom was from Carl Place. I was by the beach. Mom was a little inland. Culturally, I mean, Long Beach is a little bit bigger of a town than Carl Place, so it's a little more diverse, I think, back then. Both are more diverse now than they were back then too, but I think you adapt to your culture that's around you. As long as you love someone and that's the person you want to be with, then you adapt to the culture that's around you.
In the educational wise, like college.
Well, educationally, I think, I went to a 4-year college and, got my degree. Mom went to 2 years, but she got her nursing degree and went right to work. But we both had strong work ethic and still do to this day. We both knew that once we got through school, we, wanted to get out into the real world and start working and have careers.
What advice would you give teenagers who are dating and thinking about getting married?
Well, just, I think, take your time, make sure it's the right person, make sure, date for a while and to make sure that it's the right person for you. Nowadays people find it a little bit too easy to split up and divorce, and that's, you shouldn't, I think
Like
it's too easy.
Jennifer
Nowadays.
Lopez and
Yeah, well, yeah, you read about all the TV, the movie stars and the baseball players, or not even baseball players, the athletes, but you have to work at a marriage. There's no doubt about it. You have to work at it and make it right.
What advice would you give to a young married couple that is experiencing marital difficulties and thinking about divorce?
Try to work it out as best you can. Don't use divorce as an easy way out for anything. You have to realize that there are two people involved in a marriage. It can't always just be one-sided. You have to appreciate the other person's feelings, thoughts, but those are those things that you should work out, before you get married. But once you do get married, you have to work through some things, but make sure you understand that there's two people.
Looking back, what would you do differently if you could?
Win lottery. I don't know if there's if looking back, if as far as marriage is concerned, there's nothing. As far as maybe I think back when I career-wise, when I worked on Wall Street, maybe I should have gotten my master's in business administration because the company I worked for would have paid it, but I was so busy working I didn't have the time. That's something, but I don't know if there are too many things I would do differently.
Live in Long Beach.
Yeah, live in Long Beach, but we'll get back there one of these days.
What would you say is the key to a happy marriage?
Communication, and communication and being there for each other, but also providing each other with a little bit of space to be. You can be married, but also have your individual. Mine has her career. I have my career. She has some friends. I have some friends. So, although you do things together and you stay together, obviously you have to have room for individual growth as well.
Do you think a couple should live together before deciding to get married? Why or why not?
I don't know how I feel about that. In one respect, I feel like yes, maybe it's a good idea so that you do get to know that person, because you get to know somebody by dating them on the outside, but living with them day to day and on a day-to-day basis and learning their daily rituals and them learning yours, and both people having to sacrifice, if you will, a little bit to
Like tendencies?
Yeah, and you get used to the way you do things, and everybody does things their own way. It's not always necessarily the same way, so you have to get used to the other person. So in that respect, yeah, I think maybe it's useful, for a marriage, for people to live together for a little while. But I don't know. Traditionally, that was never. It never used to be the case. We didn't. We didn't live together. So I don't know how I feel about that one way or the other, to be honest.
What did you do on your first date?
Well, we met, like I said, at the beach club, at the Atlantic Beach Club, with the fireworks, and then we all went out after that in Long Beach and West End. But then our actual real, I guess if you want to say first date, we went out on a boat, and we spent the day out in the boat.
What were your main methods of communication then?
Phone. Well, we didn't text. We well, we talked too, and we over the phone. Really, we didn't really have. Well, I guess we had cell phones, but
Did you talk a lot, or was it like kind of like a
No, we
calls
talked.
a day?
Well, we talked, a couple of times a day. But again, Mom was working, I was working, so we were both busy with our jobs, and but yeah, and then we would go out, maybe a couple of nights during the week, and obviously on weekends. So.
If you could change something about your other partner, what would it be?
I don't know. Next question. Is there a different question?
Well, she's probably not going to watch it, so you can say.
Well, no, I don't know. No, it's. I don't know. Next question.
What are your biggest fears about your relationship?
Biggest fears.
What were your fears about? Did you ever, like, when it got to like 1 year or 2 year, was there anything you started to get like worried about? Like, when did you think it was starting to get like serious towards like going
Well-
to Aruba and proposing?
Well, we dated for a year and a half, so. But I kinda knew, after a year or so of dating.
Worry
we would
about her
get
saying
married.
no?
Did I worry about saying, no, not really. I didn't, I kinda had a pretty good inclination that she would say yes, but no, fear no, cause as time goes, you grow, you grow with each other and different, parts of life come along, you have kids and you have to take care of your children and then, there's just different aspects of life as you progress, so you have to deal with them as they come.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
I
you.
loved your interview.
Thank you.